It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and I am here for today's crafting adventure. I hope you all had a great weekend. I had a very busy weekend myself, and I went to a wedding for my cousin's youngest child. She has six kids, and they had a beautiful wedding at St. Adelaide's. I think it's St. Adelaide's Church in Peabody, and then we drove up to Gloucester. It wasn't a very long ride, and we went to the Beauport Hotel, which overlooks Gloucester Harbor. It was just a beautiful day. The weather, it was like the pick of the week, but it was also it was just nice to be there with my family. I haven't seen some of my cousins for like 5 years since their father died. So I was like really excited to see them. And oh, good morning, good morning. And I hope you all had a good weekend too. Babs is reporting from Michigan that she's had some spotty uh, Wi-Fi and no power for the past 5 days. I don't know if they had a tropical storm up in Michigan or what happened, but she lost power a few days ago. So let's all send positive vibes and prayers her way. Let's see who's here. Loretta, of course. Leslie, Gloria, Melinda, CJ, Sherry, Roberta, did I say Gloria? Deborah. Anyway, good morning to all my friends. So, as you mentioned, I went to this wedding and I decided from now on, I'm just not, I guess a long time ago, I decided, you know what, I'm not buying cards. I decided I'm going to do my own cards, and so what ends up happening is I end up like in a crunch if I need something. For instance, my sister's this weekend is turning 60, and I volunteered for the decorations, and I'm sitting here going, okay, I need to come up with a really unique looking this and that. So the same thing happened for me for this wedding. Was I was looking for a card, and I wanted to I'm going to start this from scratch so I can show you. So I found these cards that were made before they were actually insert cards, and they were made by a specific designer. I like her designs. Her name is Alexis Maddox, Mattox. And she had some really nice cards, and some of them were, she called them quick cut cards. But I really liked the design on the front, but I didn't kind of like the insert part. So it got me thinking about insert cards and how, I think that we had a conversation about that before, is that they're good. They're especially good in a pinch, but if you want to do something really sophisticated or fancy or professional looking, not saying that they don't look professional, but I kind of don't like the insert part that's sort of tucked into the front. So I came up with this idea of turning them into like actual cards. So these are some insert cards. Now, last week when we did the joy and we were talking about insert cards, somebody asked me, are all the insert cards that are listed under the Joy app available in the regular Design Space app? No, Benji, no, sit down, go sit down, huh? He's giving me the little woofs. I don't know why. He wants another cookie. Um, so, the answer to that, back when they came up with the Joy app back then, was no. Not all of those cards are available in Design Space that might be in the Joy app. That may have changed. Someone like Jamie would know. Jamie Leonard, who I know is on this morning, she might know that. But I decided that I was going to instead use these quick cut cards from Alexis. So I wanted to show you how to find them and also to find anything that she's made as well. So we're here. We're actually on a brand new canvas. So here's my canvas. And then I'm going to go to images, and I am going to choose, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Images. I want to go to why am I getting this different? Okay, I'm going to click this. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to go to image sets. You see that right under highlighted categories? So go to image sets and type in the first name Alexis, Alexis. And you'll see Alexis Maddox is a designer that does quite a few cards. And these were sort of the preface or the before you were going to make insert cards with the joy, right? These are available right now on for the Maker and the Explore machines. And I'm not even sure that they would show up if you were trying to do something on the Joy with the Design Space app. So you'll notice up here, she's got this grouping is called a quick note. And there are a couple cards in there that I'm going to show you. But also if you're looking for something that is out of that thing, for instance, this says everyday cards, and there's 52 images in here, so you can sort of go in and look, like, look, this one is cheers, I love you, thank you, all of these. Look at this one, love, and they're just really pretty. And I just was like, all right, I want to make them a little more fancy. So let's go back to the ones that I prepared for you today, which is under a quick note. And you'll see that there are a couple. There's this congratulations one. And then the first one is listed as to the new couple. So let's grab both of those and add those to our canvas. Okay. So you'll see that come in, and I'm just going to move. Let's do this one first. Okay, so one is a horizontal and the other one's a vertical card. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to ungroup the envelope. I'm going to actually get rid of the envelope because I have an envelope that I like better. So I'm just going to ungroup it. Now, once I ungroup it, you'll see here, this is my back piece that's on the insert card, and this is my actual insert card. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to get rid of this piece because you'll notice it has some special cutouts, and I just want a square piece. So I'm going to get rid of that one too. I'm going to go over to shapes. I'm going to choose a square, and I am going to unlock this, and I'm going to make it 5 inches wide by 7 inches high. Why am I doing that? Because this card is A2, and I feel like a larger card is needed for, like, this is for a wedding. So I'm going to actually make this card a A7, which is 10 by 7. Okay, so I'm just adding right here 10, and you'll see that the height is not quite 7. So I'm going to unlock it, and then I'll just change it to 7. Okay, so now I have 10 by 7 inch card, and this is going to be the insert. Let's change it to a pretty color. So we're looking at something pretty. I like this blue, and let's arrange it to the back just so you can see how it's going to look. So this card actually has these slits here for the inserts, and it also has writing on it. Okay, so what we're first going to do is we're going to sort of take this top card apart, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to detach the score line. So keep the score line because we're going to make an inside of the card. And then once we detach, this is our writing portion of the card. So you can move that over. Now what we can do here is we can get rid of these 4 slits because we don't need them. And we do that by going to contour, which is down here on the right hand side at the bottom. So contour basically takes out just pieces of your card. So I hit contour and I'm looking for these 4 things. So I'm just going to click on them and they will be goodbye. They're gone now. Okay. And now before I go any further, I'm also going to grab another shape, a square. I'm going to make this square 5 by 7. Oh no, sorry, 5 by 7 by 7. Now I'm going to detach the front from the back. Okay, so this 5 by 7, and I want it to be exact. So we're going to go align to the left and also want to align to the bottom. It's important to do both of those so that it's perfectly centered and we can take off that back of that card. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll grab both pieces and we're going to use my favorite tool, which is slice. And it's also down here, slice. All right, once we've done that, we can then sort of peel away these pieces. We no longer need them. And we still have this card front. So we have to go ahead and we'll arrange it to the front, bring to the front. So there's our writing. So unfortunately it unlocked and I don't want it to unlock. So I just went and did the back. So I'm just using to align the writing there, you see? So I'm just sort of moving it to where I want it to be, which is right here. And then I'm going to select these both and I'm going to attach. All right, we're almost done with this card. We have the front and this is going to be behind here. But now we have to create a card and put a sentiment in. So let's go back to shapes and choose a square. And then here what we will do is unlock it and we will just do our 10 by 7-inch size. There it is. And I think I'll change this to white color. I'm going to show you some paper that I found for the front of this card. You're going to love it, I think. All right, then I'm going to take my, I have to move my square behind. So I'm going to do arrange to the back. And then I have my scoring. So what I'm going to do is select both of these and I'm going to do align center. And that will put my score right in the middle of the card so that the card folded will be 5 by 7. Once I do that, I do have to attach that score line. So attach it down here again. So let's do that. Okay, now let's go find a sentiment. So this is for a wedding. Now my family is particularly religious. So I went to Google. Let's go to Google. And I typed in wedding. All right, let me see. I think I typed in wedding card sentiments religious. Okay. And so you'll see we've got a lot of choices here. There's a number here. I think the one that I chose was from this Truly Experiences, but you can also look in all these other 50 wedding greetings. That sounds nice. Let's look at that. And we can look for, may you always walk together in happy ways of love while trusting in the grace of God to lead you from above. That sounds right up my alley. So I'm going to take my my mouse and I'm going to just highlight that, okay? And I'm going to do a Command C, or that's copy, okay? So you do a copy. And then we go back to our card and we're going to do a T over here where it says text. We're going to choose that. And then we're going to do a Command V, which is paste. Now, this comes in all in one line, and we don't want that, obviously. And we also would prefer to probably use our pens to make the sentiment. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go right up here to font, and I'm going to look here at Cricut, and it will also show you different things here. Sorry. So I like cursive, so I'm going to try what's listed as cursive. So there's quite a few that are here. This one's sort of my go-to, named Alyssa Stencil Script. Excuse me. I think Leslie is a fan of that one. Okay. V means verify? Oh, I don't know. I think it means paint. Yeah, it's a great little font, Alyssa Stencil Script. So I'm going to choose that. And now I'm going to go back to my canvas, and this is still in a cut style. So go up here next to font where it says style and use this down box and choose writing. Now it's in the writing style. So this might be something you have to do every single time. So be aware of that, because I think some people have started, for some reason, my video about adding a sentiment into an insert card from a long time ago, probably like 3 years ago, got real popular this weekend, and people were like, how do I do that? How do I get that? You know, so I just wanted to point out that you will have to do some maneuvering, and that includes changing the style to writing if you want it written. If you don't change the style to writing, it will cut it out, okay? So we want to use a pen. So you see what I did? I went in on our little sentiment, and I put some page breaks in there, or carriage returns. I know that's not what you call it. What do you call it? I always call it a carriage return, because when you're typing, you know, you would return the carriage. Okay, so it's still too big. I'm going to grab it up here at the bottom right hand side, and I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller right here. It's still too big, so I'm going to unlock it right here up to size, and I'm going to sort of squish it into that space. Okay, and it looks really cute. I'm just going to check and make sure everything's spelled correctly. May you always walk together in happy ways of love, while trusting in the grace of God to lead you from above. Sounds perfect. Now the only thing I have to do now is I have to grab the entire piece, including the sentiment, and attach it again. Okay, so attach it down the bottom here. It's the paper clip. Oh, Benji, my dear, I don't know why you're so upset. I really don't. Okay, so now we actually have a card that we've created. We've taken out the insert. We're going to use this behind it. And the only thing left to do is to get a, an envelope. I'm going to show you that later. But what happens if you choose a card? So let's move these over here, and I'm going to arrange this to the back, and I'm just going to group these together so you'll know that we're working there. Okay, so what happens if your card is not vertical but horizontal? It's the same idea, but you just change the ways that your measurements are. So again, I'm taking away the envelope, and now here I've got this, right? And this I don't think has any writing on it. So what I'm going to do is detach it, and going to remove that score line, and then I'm going to get rid of those little cuts on the top and bottom of the insert card. So we'll just kind of scroll along here and try to find, and they all look rather weird, but here are the simple cuts for the insert card. So I'm just clicking on those so they'll disappear. Okay, and now they're no longer there, and we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to get a shape and square, I should say, and we're going to make that square. Instead of 5 by 7, we're going to make it 7 by 5. All right, so 7 by 5. There you go. Now we also have to make our card the same size. So over here, instead of 5 by 7, or actually 10 by 7, it is actually going to be 7 on the width. 7. And it comes in at a height of 10.8, which we don't want. We want it to be exactly 10. So there it is. I'm going to lock it up. And then I'm going to take, again, I'm going to take my little square. I'm going to grab the actual card, go to a line, and I'm going to do a line top and a line left. That centers that square right over the card. Then we grab them both and we do the slice. Okay, so that, I don't know if you want me to show you the whole. Now this one here is not 5. This we got to change. This is our background piece, right? So I'm going to change it to 7 by 5. Okay. So now I have this underneath there. Now I am going to be using some paper that I want to show you that I found. Let me just bring you down here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I found this at Michael's. It's called shimmer cardstock paper, and it is white gold. And I thought, oh, this would be perfect for making angels. You guys know I love angels. And I don't know if you can see that shimmer, but it's got a beautiful shimmery white gold on the top. And I thought this will look really, why not fold in half? I don't want the extra backing there, Barbara. Barbara's asking why not fold it in half. I don't like the extra backing on the card. I don't like that too much. So that's why I cut it that way. But if you want to do it the other way, you're welcome to do it that way. It's neither, it's what, you know, it doesn't matter either way. Okay. So this is beautiful paper. It's called shimmer cardstock. Now it's 100-pound paper. You see, I'm sorry, 100 sheets with 65 pounds, and it's quite a bit. But I thought, gee, if I want to make those angel ornaments that I've seen from Dreaming Tree, this would be perfect. I probably can get almost 100 angels out of it. So that's why I bought it. But then I thought, you know, I'm going to do my my wedding cards in this. Now, interestingly, you can also use a pen on this shimmer finish, but you have to be very careful. And when you're using the pen. So in this one here, it says, this one I did with the shimmer, okay? And you'll see here that I smudged it. Now, first of all, I used this purple pen. I'm not really sure that I would use it again. It is metallic violet, but it sort of comes in gray. So I'm not really sure that I would use it again on this paper. But I also wanted to use a violet background for the card. So this is what I came up with. The first time I did it and I didn't smudge it. But this morning when I was in a hurry, you'll see it did smudge. So I can't have that. I got to send that to my waste bin. And then here is the other one that I did with that paper. Now you see this paper did cut. I did cut it on cardstock for intricate cuts, but when I was taking it off the mat, it broke here. I might be able to salvage it. If I were going to sell this card, maybe I would just do it again. But I do love that it's like got that gold shimmer to it. And in this one, I decided that I was going to use this blue background, which I didn't cut correctly. So there you go. And then as far as the envelope goes, I went to borrow, I like this top open envelope. I'm going to show you where I got it. And so I'm going to show you how to put this together right now. So just so you know, the shimmer, you're going to need a pen. I'm not sure if you want to do the purple, if you want to do gold or silver or whatever. And then as far as the inside of the card, I used this and a different sentiment, but it's extra fine point. And this says powder blue, which doesn't look powder blue to me. It looked like gray. So I was like, I'll choose that. So I put that in there. Now I've cut all of my pieces out. Let me show you how I put it together. Oh, shimmer spray. Shimmer spray would be interesting. The only thing I don't like about shimmer spray is it kind of gives the paper a little bit of a warping effect, and so didn't really care for that. Although I do have it in both like a gold and I think the other one's like a silvery color, and it's from Distress. I can show you that some other time. So all in my other side. So so this is the envelope that I used. I'm going to take you back up to the screen to show you where I got the envelope. And I just want to show you how it goes together. So I use my scoring stylus, not my scoring wheel, to make this envelope. See that? And I'm folding it on all four corners. I just like the look of this envelope. You can use whatever envelope you want to use. And if you want to buy, you know, the 5x7 or A7 envelopes, you can buy those at Michael's. Or I've also purchased them in bulk online. I forget where I got them. I think it was on Create for Less, but I might be wrong. But you can buy them in bulk if you're not super excited about making envelopes. I don't like making envelopes generally, but I wanted something that looked elegant and matching. So I decided to use the same color for the background, the insert part, the background, and as I have here, this is American Crafts cardstock in, I think it's lavender, which I purchased from the 12x12 cardstock shop, which you might find an interest in there. I did order like 25 sheets of these certain colors. There's so many colors. We've talked about that before, and I've mentioned this to you before. This is a swatch book. Often it reminds me a lot of like when we used to go get, I don't know if that's lilac, that might be lilac. But we used to get our, does anybody else remember going to the wallpaper store and taking home books and going through them and trying to come up with the right wallpaper to put? It's not quite lavender. I think it must be lilac. Okay, so that's in lilac. And now I'm just going to do this, take off my double stick tape. Now, when I go to close the card, the envelope, I should say, once I put my envelope in there, I'm going to just take a little tiny bit of this double stick tape so that it will close. But you know what would look nice is maybe a seal here, maybe using that that writable vinyl that we had, by, you know, to the Happy Couple or something like that, or a little heart on the seal. So that's pretty cool. So there's the envelope, and let's have a look at the card itself. So here's my inside of my card. And you'll see there's my score line. So I'm just going to fold this in half and use my scraping tool to get a nice crisp edge to it. If it helps you, sometimes I will also fold it back the other way to get a good edge. But this paper is actually thinner than the Cricut cardstock. This paper is also from Michaels. Okay, and then let's take our. So this one here, the new couple, I already glued on, but so we're going to do this one that's congrats, and we'll also use this square which I cut out. And so I hope I didn't test my glue bottles today. What you're going to do, especially with this break right here, oh, there's two. There's one here and one there, is I'm going to try to connect them where they broke off. Sometimes there's a little edge there that you can get it to connect. And again, you know, if you're in a pinch and you want to save your card stock or whatever, you know, maybe you would try this. But if you have for instance, a big lot of cardstock, you might cut it out again because of these little mistakes here. I did use intricate cuts, which you can find under the cardstock label of your Cricut when you're choosing your material, right? You guys all know you can use something called cardstock for intricate cuts, and it really does a great job on these very intricate things. So see how that's sort of kind of I'm going to put glue on here and then try to press this down. So this is Owen's last week of summer vacation because he's headed to senior year. And so this is like the last week, and I was trying to get him to do different things. He's like, Mom, this is my last week of summer vacation. But he's happy because I bought him an early birthday gift. It was you guys are going to die when you hear this story. He wanted a camcorder that instead of doing digital, that it does like the cassette. So we went on eBay and we found one, and he was so excited, and it came and it had like a cassette in it already, and it was already recorded on, right? And he was like, but it's already recorded on, I need to get some blank ones. And I said, but you can just hit rewind. And he looked at me I said, you can hit rewind, go back to and tape over it. And he said, rewind? Like he never heard of it. And then it started to think about it. It's like rewind is not really something that kids today are familiar with, right? Because we had to be kind, rewind with our VHS tapes, and when you have DVDs, you don't rewind. I mean, you might go back to watch a certain point, but I don't think they call it rewind. Maybe they do, but he had no idea what I was talking about. And it's really just one of those examples of, like, also when I've written in cursive before, he's like, Mom, I cannot read that. I don't know what it says. And I'm like, really? I mean, if we ever wanted to take back the world from the young people, all we'd have to do is, make plans and write them out in cursive and deliver them through the mail because they don't know anything about mailing things. They don't know anything about cursive. I mean, it would be the ultimate plan, taking back from the young people, right? I was just so tickled to hear that What's rewind? What do you mean? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Doesn't know about how you take a pencil and you rewind a cassette tape, you know, like, or if it kind of came out of the cassette, how you would try to baby it and doctor it back into place. Just was funny. It's so cool. Different generations, you know. Um, just a different thing. And when I went to the wedding, now I haven't been to a wedding in forever. I mean, all of my friends are, you know, married, and they all have grown children now, and so, you know, the closest thing you might get to a wedding is like a baby shower, or sadly, a funeral wake or something like that. And so I was thinking about that, you know, and usually, you know, they have little favors. Well, these kids, they decided that they were going to make a donation to the Texas, I forget what it's called, like a no 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 kill dog. I forget, it had a special name. And I thought, well, that's really nice because, yeah, you know, you get those little favors no matter what they are, and you're like, you know, remember we used to have Jordan almonds and in like a little tulle netting, and that was your favor. Or because I was from an Italian family, they would have these little Italian ceramic things, like a vase or something like that, little. And they would put the Jordan almonds in the nest, in the netting. And I remember as a kid, like my mother had a whole slew of those little favors, and it's like you don't know what to do with them anyway. And I love Jordan almonds, and so this is my true confession. I ate all the Jordan almonds from our family's weddings that we all went to. So I don't know if you can see it, but this here is a little messed up. But I'm going to try to, like with the blunt end of my finger, try to straighten it out. Here it looks fine, but here it looks kind of not so great. So there's the front of the card. Let's get our card here, and we're going to put it on this way, because if we put it on this way, it will be sideways, remember? So let's go ahead and take this one, and we're going to use some double stick tape. And put those on there. Now, while I was there, I heard that my only living aunt, who lives in Watertown, she couldn't make it. She had a stroke, a minor stroke. So I started thinking, okay, what are we going to do? I have to send her a card and a letter. So I was looking for something to cheer her up. But I haven't come across that yet. Also, you know, I told you it's my sister's 60th birthday. So tomorrow on the show, I hope, we're going to do a cake topper for her cake. And she's chosen the theme of 60 and fabulous, which I don't blame her. I think that's a great theme. So, so I got to make a cake topper that uses that. All right. And then flatten. It looks really nice, I think. And there's the inside. And that is how you doctor up a little, or give it a glow up, as I said in the title, an insert card. Now, I do want to take you back. No, so 18, so my son is 17. He'll be 18 next month. Yes, we're going to do birthday decor, but I was working on this card, and I wanted you guys to know, like, how to I don't know, because we were talking, whatever. So that's why we did this. So, all right, let's go back up here, and I want to show you. Um, and I'm going to save this so that you guys know. I'll finish it up, but I'm going to save it as insert. Let's see, wedding insert card. Glow up. We'll do that. Glow up. Okay. I'm going to save it and I'll make sure it's public so you can come and get it. Now, the envelope, which is kind of interesting, is from a card I did earlier in the year, and it's the I Heart You alphabet card. Now, I don't know where it came from, because see at the bottom, it says related projects, but it doesn't tell me what it is. So let's just go and customize this. Yeah, we're going to save it. So I just know that I like this envelope. So what I did was I just grouped this together and hid this whole, hid this whole thing. Let's just group this together and hide it. And then I could just cut this out or cut as many as I want in whatever paper that I want. You see? But I wish there was a way. I mean, they used to tell you like what images were used. But now, no. I don't know if I go to edit project details. No. So I don't know like where you can get it other than coming here and picking it up, and it is here. So let's also just go to, I want to go to the community. Some things have changed in the community. So I find it's gotten a little overwhelming in the community, hard to find things. But I would also wanted to show you, if you use the home button here, and you do a search up here, and if you're looking for something like a wedding or an insert card, let's try insert card. And you will see under projects, there's a slew of insert cards. So here you go under projects. See this, insert cards that people have converted from the other one, and you can go ahead and look at all of these. So you don't always have to make it as an insert card. I don't know if this is helpful to you, but I just think it's always, if you have more to choose from, the better. And so you can see all these insert cards that people created, and you can turn them into, if you want, you can turn them into non-insert cards just by doing all those steps that I showed you. All right. So for instance, let's do this penguin. It's very cute. We're going to edit a copy. All right. And this is all we get. So we're looking at it and we're going, whoa, what's happening here? So we're going to detach, and we're going to move over the writing, you see. And then we're going to go here. How is this? It's also detached. It's like a double detach. All right. And then we go to the contour. We can contour out these like that. Okay. And then we can reattach these here. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that you don't always have to find a project and do it exactly the way that they tell you to, or the way that it's designed. You can start thinking, you know, oh, I remember this from that card, and that's how you become a designer. Isn't that a great feeling? So, So that is it for me for today. I have to spend, today's going to be a very busy day. I have to go to my first radiation treatment for my left leg, and then I have a 5 o'clock appointment for our monthly meeting of our Green Peabody group. So it's going to be a rather busy day. So I'm hoping to get I started working on my cake topper, and I'm like, I think it should be a shaker card. So now I'm like, how am I going to do that? So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you again for the rest of the week. And let's see, I hope you have a lovely day. It's beautiful here in Massachusetts. No shaker on the cake? No, Loretta? I've seen people do the shaker cards, right? Lots of layers. Okay. All right. I'll do that. As I haven't done a cake topper for a couple years either. So, but yeah, I like this. Use your glue mat. My glue mat, the one you gave me? Why shake on the cake? Are you going to shake the cake? No, you're right. You're right. And then also, what if I had like stuff on there like glitter and it came out, right? Right? Yeah. All right, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for our and it's a waste of time. Gail says, I made a shaker for Anna and it's a waste of time. That's funny. All right, everybody. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Penny. So nice to see you too, Penny. And all right, everybody. See you later. Talk to you later. Bye.